you doing, Bill?
Hi there. Hi, Mike. I'm doing fine. How are you today?
Doing okay.
Good.
Hi, Lana, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Hi, Lana.
Hi, Bill. How are you?
Doing okay today. Thanks.
Did you guys have a good Easter?
Yeah.
Yep.
Uneventful, but it was good.
Yeah, same here.
Nobody
I need-
popped on an airplane or anything.
Uneventful is a good thing these days.
Yeah, it is. Too many events
A
going
little
on.
relaxing. I'll take that. I'll take that just about every time, I think. Unless it's a trip to Europe or something, then I'll take a little excitement, but that doesn't happen very often.
No.
I'm going to give Russell a call and see, make sure he's not having any trouble.
Okay.
Hi, Mr. Ripperger. This is Allison, your court reporter. And I notice when you lean back from your computer, your voice kind of fades a bit. So if you could, when you're on the record, if you could lean towards your computer, I'd really appreciate it.
Yes, I will do that. And then it's interesting to note that since I was 5 and up to the point of now, people are still telling me to sit up in my chair.
Sorry about that.
For good reasons, probably.
Thank you.
All righty. Well, hello, everybody. This is your hearing examiner, Russell Fisk. Looks like we might be waiting on Joan. John, are we waiting on Joan?
Yes, we are.
Okay, we'll wait a few minutes.
No problem.
I spoke with Joan a little earlier today. She said that she wasn't going to be able to connect with video, but she will be connecting audio only.
Okay.
I'm here, guys. Sorry.
Here you go.
Okay, no problem, Joan.
We had I had some issues again with my computer.
All right, no problems, no problem.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
I'm here on mute. Let's see. Is Russell here?
yeah, can you hear me, Joan?
Yeah, I can
Okay.
hear you. Yeah, you're on audio too. Okay.
Yeah, I need to get a new webcam.
Yeah.
All right, well, looks like we have everybody.
Yep.
So let's go on the record.
Okay.
Okay, we have our court reporter, so we're on the record. So today is the hearing on the second phase of Plateau Telecommunications Inc.'s petition for ETC or eligible telecommunications carrier designation. This is for the purpose of participation in the federal Lifeline program. We've already done the first phase. Now this is the hearing just for the second phase. Let's just go ahead and have I'm Russell Fisk, Associate General Counsel for the New Mexico Public Regulation Commission and the hearing examiner in this matter. And let's just go ahead and have the parties and attorneys. identify themselves for the court reporter. Let's start with the attorney for Plateau, Bill Templeman.
Yes, William Templeman, appearing on behalf of Plateau Telecommunications. And with me in my office, but not in front of the screen today, is my partner, Mike Moffett. He'll be listening in.
Good
thank
afternoon,
you.
everybody.
And Ms. Waller?
Lana Waller, Regulatory Manager for Plateau Telecommunications.
Thank you. Joan?
Yes, and good afternoon, everyone. I am Joan Ellis, and I'm the staff attorney for the Telecommunications Bureau. And with me, but not with me, is Mike Ripperger, who is our witness in this case and is the bureau chief for telecommunications. I believe I also have co-counsel John Bogatko on the call.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Okay, excellent. So I don't recall, we didn't have a pre-hearing conference on the second phase recently, I don't believe. But I'm assuming since we have the same attorneys, Bill and Joan, that have appeared in the first phase and also in some other matters, that the parties would like to forego opening argument and closing argument, unless there's something special you want to add at the end. But forego opening argument and just begin with the testimony of Plateau. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct assumption.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and do that. Ms. Court Reporter, if you could swear in the witness, Ms. Waller.
Mr. Waller, would you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Ms. Waller, please state your name for the record.
Lana Waller.
And I believe you've already identified your position with Plateau, but if you go ahead and do it again.
Regulatory Manager at Plateau Telecommunications.
Okay, thank you. Do you have before you today copies of what have been marked as Plateau Phase 2 Exhibits 1 and 2?
I do.
Referring to Plateau Phase 2 Exhibit 1, that is labeled as a second phase direct testimony and exhibits of Lana Waller. Did you cause that document to be prepared?
Yes,
Do you have any changes or corrections today?
I do not.
So if I were to ask you the same questions that are contained in that testimony, would your answers be the same?
Yes,
And then if you'll look at Plateau Phase 2 Exhibit 2, that is labeled as the Phase 2 rebuttal testimony and exhibits of Lana Waller. Did you cause that testimony to be prepared as well?
yes,
Do you have any changes or corrections to that testimony?
I do not.
If I were to ask you the same questions, would your answers be the same as contained in that written testimony?
Yes,
Mr. Hearing Examiner, at this time, I would offer into evidence on behalf of Plateau, excuse me for that, the documents noted as Plateau Phase 2 Exhibits 1 and 2.
Are there any objections to the admission of these documents?
No objections.
All right. Both exhibits are admitted.
No further questions. Pass the witness.
Joan, do you have any questions for Ms. Waller?
No, I do not. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Ms. Waller. You are relieved from the stand unless there happens to be some kind of odd and unexpected follow-up question at the very end of this. But thank you for your participation, and we can move on to staff's presentation.
Okay, thank you. Staff would call Mr. Mike Ripperger to the stand.
Mr. Ripperger, would you raise your right hand for me, sir, and unmute yourself? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Ripperger. And if you would just give your name, your theoretical address, and your position with the commission.
My name is Michael Ripperger. I am the Telecommunications Bureau Chief for advocacy staff in the Utility Division of the New Mexico Public Regulation Commission. The address of the commission currently, I believe, is a P.O. Box 1269, Santa Fe, New Mexico, 87507. And it's very soon to be, I guess, in the Bolcom building, but I don't think we're there yet.
Okay, thank you. Yes, that's up in the air, so to speak. Did you cause or did you prepare some testimony that you may have in front of you that has been titled Exhibit 1?
Yes,
And the court reporter has a copy of that, is that correct?
the court reporter should have a copy of that exhibit.
Okay, and the hearing examiner and the other party. And do you have any corrections to the testimony?
No, I do not.
And except for any responses that have been filed to requests that you placed in your Exhibit 1, do you have, if I asked you the same questions, understanding that the rebuttal testimony does provide what you requested, would your answers be the same?
Yes, they would.
Mr. Hearing Examiner, I would like to enter Staff Exhibit 1 into evidence.
Are there any objections?
And no objection.
All right, Staff Exhibit 1 is admitted.
And I'll pass the witness.
Bill, do you have any questions?
Just briefly, Mr. Ripperger, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Just so that I'm clear, do you feel like your requests for additional information from Plateau have been satisfied through the filing of rebuttal testimony by Ms. Waller?
Mr. Templeman, I did get a chance to read the rebuttal testimony of Lana Waller. Staff did ask for some additional information, and I believe that Ms. Waller did a good job of filling in a few of the blanks. She provided a map and some more information on outreach and advertising, which I believe rounds out the record, and staff still recommends approval of the petition.
Thank you, Mr. Hearing Examiner. That's all my questions.
Okay, excellent. So the testimony is complete. If there's nothing else, Bill or Joan, then I think we can, well, I guess I'll do this. Yeah, I want to do this on the record. Okay, so as usual, since this is an uncontested petition, the second phase of this petition is uncontested, just like the first. My plan is to issue a recommended decision approving the petition as to the federal Lifeline participation designation. And I guess I would be issuing that later this week, and then it would be on the open meeting agenda probably for next week. And just to keep this moving quickly, as we've done before, would the parties be willing to waive any exceptions, except to the extent that I might use some odd wording that you would like corrected? Bill?
Yes, Plateau will do that. I would like to raise one issue, but I'll let staff speak to the question.
Yes, we are fine, all things considered, and on past history, that we would waive that technological right.
Okay.
So the point I wanted to raise was to the extent there could be any confusion about the scope of the designated area in this phase 2 proceeding. I seem to recall that in some prior recommended decisions and final orders, there was approvals for a designation that was labeled as presented in the application. And in this case, the application was filed a long time ago, and it didn't really get into the details of what the specific designated area would be for Lifeline designation, as opposed to designation for participation in the broadband program. So my hope would be that a recommended decision this time around could not refer only to the application, but would also perhaps indicate that the designation would be granted as presented in the application and the testimony and exhibits, something to that effect.
Okay, absolutely. That's no problem at all.
Okay.
Yeah. Could I ask just a clarifying question? Does that mean that basically there are certain counties that you want that ETC designation in?
Well, the testimony clarifies both of Ms. Waller and Mr. Ripperger, really sets it out very clearly what the designated area is to be for the Lifeline. So it would be precisely as set forth in those two testimonies. I just didn't want there to be any confusion by relying only on an application that really didn't deal with the phase 2 issue very precisely. So
No, I
was my
understand
view.
that. This was just a general point of information. I'm trying to remember whether Plateau's requested area were certain counties.
No.
Okay,
All right. Yeah, I will definitely do that to make sure that it's a more precise reference in the RD. Is there anything else that anyone has to add?
Not
All
for
right, hearing
Plateau.
nothing, the hearing is now closed. Thank you everyone for your participation. As I said, I'll get that RD out probably later this week.
okay, well, thank you very much, everybody, Mr. Hearing Examiner, etc.
Bye,
Okay.
Jen. Bye, Bill.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Isaac, Ms. Waller.
Allison, do you need anything else from me?
No, I'm good. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so